দেখা যাচ্ছে পিপিটি মেমোরি ইউনিট?
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
ঠিক আছে, এগুলো সবই জানা, তবু জাস্ট একবার একটু বলে দেওয়া আর কি। জাস্ট এ মিনিট, আমি একটু জল খেয়ে তারপরে। Okay. So if you see this picture, then you have seen that the processor is connected with the memory, right? Right? So if we want to know if we want to know what is memory, so memory is nothing but a storage location, okay, where we can store some information or data. Similarly, from where we can retrieve some information or data. So it's a basically place where the computer store some information, similarly retrieve some information from that location. That is known as the memory. Now, memory can be different types. So, first of all, memory means there are two types of uh, devices: memory devices and the storage devices. So, memory devices means there are two types of memory: primary memory and the secondary memory, right? Or primary memory means the main memory. Secondary memory means the auxiliary memory or auxiliary devices. So main memory is basically RAM, ROM, PROM, EROM, EPROM. These are the main memory. So main, what is the difference between the main memory and the secondary memory? So main memory size is very less than the secondary memory, and the capacity of the memory is less, but the processing speed of the main memory is very high than the secondary memory. And computer mainly interact with the main memory. Whenever computer want to process something, it collect the information from the main memory, because maybe your information is or your data is stored in the secondary memory, but whenever you want to process it, it will it will come from the main memory. So it will go from secondary memory to main memory, then it will process. Okay, so there are two types of memory, that is the RAM and ROM. So RAM is basically the random access memory, and ROM is basically read-only memory. So where you can just read the information, but you cannot write. Okay, and RAM is basically the random access memory. You can access it randomly. That is your the RAM. Then the ROM is again divided into different types, that is the PROM, EPROM, and EEPROM. PROM means programmable read-only memory. EPROM means electrical programmable read-only memory, and then EEPROM basically the electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. Okay. Then the storage devices, I mean the auxiliary storage devices, magnetic tapes, hard disks, floppy disks, optical disks, CDR drive. CDR drive means CD read, and CDW means CD write, or CDRW means read write. And CDB is basically your compact disks. Okay, so uh, if you want to process some information through or from the CD, I mean the compact disc, then you need a drive, that is the CD drive. Nowadays, the laptop doesn't have any type of CD drive because due to the space and due to the lightweight, they are not installing the CD drive in the laptop. But if you have the desktop, then you will have the CD drive. But you may not attach your CD drive in your system. But if you wish, you can add. Okay, and there are two types, that some drive only read and some drive can both read and write option. Then the DVD, then the Blu-ray discs are there. These are all the storage devices, all the DVD, Blu-ray discs, CD, DVD, and the optical discs, magnetic tape, hard disks, all are the storage devices, which is basically the auxiliary storage devices or the secondary storage devices. Okay, where you can store some information. Okay, other than this, there are also some devices, secondary devices also available. Flash drive, pen drive, this is also available. Okay, so how it process and why memory is required. If you see this picture, then you will see that this is basically the input device through which keyboard, mouse, you can put information to the control unit, and then there is a CPU, the control unit, there is a CPU, ALU is there, arithmetic logic unit. They are basically, it process the information, and whenever it will process it, if it needs some information, that it will collect the information from the memory, because you see this is the both way arrow is there, and after processing this information, if you consider this is that this memory is the primary memory and it needs some information from the secondary memory, it can collect the information from this secondary memory storage, secondary storage, that is floppy disks or CD or hard disks, whatever it be. And similarly, after processing, if it wish to display on the screen, then through monitor it will display. Or if you want to print it, then you can use this printer for hard output. And similarly, if you want to save this information into your memory, then you can save it in the secondary storage device. Okay. Then what are the characteristics of storage devices? This is very important because the storage device characteristics depends on this type of character. That is the speed of that device. The volatility. If you consider the RAM and ROM, so some devices are volatile and something is not volatile. So volatile means after reading, if you switch off the current, that the all memory information will be lost, and where the memory after switch off, if the memory is preserved or the information is preserved, that is the null volatile. Okay, depending on that, RAM and ROM is divided as a volatile and the non-volatile memory. Then the access method, portability, and the cost and the capacity. So nowadays we always wish to any system that should be portable, so that we can carry from one place to another place, like the laptop. But it is not possible. Laptop is portable, that's why. But if you consider the desktop is not portable because you cannot carry from one place to another place. And depending on the portability, the cost is depend, and the depending on the memory size and the speed, the cost also depends, and the capacity also varies. Now, one thing you have to know, how the information is stored in the different devices. This in memory devices. It's not like a different gadgets or pen pencil. It not look like that you can store in a particular location. This is a pen. This is a book. You can store the book in your shelf or in your almirah. That is, it not like that. The information basically is stored in the computer memory. How? Because you know that computer doesn't know the other written information which we write, or it does not know any decimal systems, so it cannot store this decimal information. So how computer will store this different information which we write in our own language or own uh, own whatever own number system. Okay, so computer, I have already told you that computer convert that information, that is the, you can say that is maybe high level language. So that convert into the low level language or the machine language, which is basically written by the binary code. Okay. So bit basically a single digit, binary digit, that is your bit. Either it is 0 or 1. It is basically the smallest unit of measurement, that is the bit. Two possibilities are there, that is 0 or 1. So as it is 2, that's why it is binary. 3, if the number of digit is 3, then it is ternary is there, but it is basically binary. Two digits are used to represent any type of information. Or, I mean, if you consider the number system, so computer know only the binary number system, and we use the decimal number system. Other than this binary and decimal number system, there are other types of number
Hexadecimal,
system.
octal.
Hexadecimal, octal number system is there. So this number system depends on the number of character are used to represent the system. Here, as two digits are used to represent the system's number system, that's why it is binary. Binary means two. And in decimal system, decimal means 10. In our system, we use 10 digit, 0 to 9, to represent any number, anything. That's why it is the decimal number system. But whenever you will talk about the octal number system, then 0 to 7, 8 digits are used to represent anything. Right? And in hexadecimal number system, we use the 16 digit to represent any number. 0 to 9, then A to F, alphabet A to F. These 16 digits are used to represent any number. Okay. So that's why, based on that, the number is defined, and the computer can convert, and it is not your under not your syllabus. That's why we are not showing that we can manually we can manipulate or convert a decimal number system into binary number system, octal to decimal, or octal to binary. You can convert it. Okay, there is a mathematical way by which you can convert. Okay, so for example, if I say that if we want to represent 1, so it will be 0 1. But if we want to represent 2, then it will be 1 0.
One
How?
zero.
Because every digit is represents its position, 2 to the power position. Okay, so the first position is 2 to the power 0 means 1, 2 to the power 1 means 2, 2 to the power
Two
2
then
means
four.
4, 2 to the power power. Okay, so in this way we can represent any number system in the binary number system, from decimal to binary number system. Okay. Now, bit is the smallest digit to represent any number. That is your the binary bit system. Then the byte is basically 8 bit equals to 1 byte. So it is more larger than the bit. So using 8 bit, we can represent the byte. Okay. Next, the small units of measurement, that is the processor and memory speed. So millisecond, we use the millisecond. A thousandth of a second, that is 1 by 1000, which is basically 10 to the power minus 3, is the millisecond. Then the microsecond, a millionth of a second, that is 1 by 1, then 60, that is 10 to the power minus 6, that is your microsecond. And nanosecond, it is basically 10 to the power minus 9. So using this unit, we use the memory speed of a processor. Now large unit of measurement, memory storage. So that is, we use the smallest unit of storage is basically the bit, that is by 0 or 1. Then there is a kilobyte. Okay, so that is more than bit, then the byte, then the nibble, because 8 bit equals to 1 byte equals to 8 bit, and 1 nibble equals to 4 bit. Okay, then kilobyte, you will see all this information in the book. Everything is not written here. I'm talking about your nibble, I'm talking to you about your byte. That is not written here. You will see this all information in the book. Okay, then then the kilobyte, it is basically 1000 byte. So 1024 bit equals to 1 bytes, thousands bytes. Then the megabyte MB, that is 2 to the power 20. Then the gigabyte, and then the terabyte. Okay, So these are the different measurement of storage. Okay. So a complete set of encyclopedia required about 700 MB of storage. Nowadays we have the gigabyte, GB, and nowadays we have the terabyte, TB. Nowadays in your computer we will not use that. We have the 100 GB memory or 500 GB memory. We say that we have 1 TB memory or 2 TB memory. Okay, and the DVD have the more capacity than the CD. Then you see this is the terabyte, a trillion of information to the power 40, 20 millions for drawer filling cabinets full of text. Okay, so 200 DVD of information can store a TB. Now we'll talk about the RAM, ROM, PROM, EPROM. This is basically the, then we'll see the auxiliary storage device. Then we'll see the optical discs. Under optical discs there is CD-R drive, CD-RW discs, DVD, Blu-ray discs, and others. So memory devices, RAM, ROM. So is one or more set of chips that store data, programs, instruction either temporarily or permanently. It is critical processing component in any computer. PC use several different types of this information. Okay. Then these memory devices, I mean, obviously it is the primary memory. I have already told you there are two types of memory: primary memory and the secondary memory. So all this RAM ROM is under PROM is under primary memory, and you see the hard disk and the CD DVD it is under the secondary memory, or flash drive or pen drive. This is the secondary memory. So two most important are RAM and the ROM. They work different ways to perform different functions. And there is a CPU register. There is a register is one type of memory where you can store information. Cache memory is one type of memory which is basically very high speed memory. Is known as the cache memory, and it belongs in between the main memory and the CPU. Okay, so that is your the cache memory. So you see this is the characteristics of RAM. RAM is packaged as a chip. Basic storage unit is a cell, 1 bit per cell, multiple RAM chips from memory, random access memory. It is volatile. So volatile means after switch off, all the information will be lost. Use temporary storage. Typical range is 256 MB to 4 GB. Random means direct access to any part of your memory. You can access any part. You do not. You should not have to follow the serial in a way. I mean, if you want to process 10, you have to go through 1 to 10. This is the serial. But if I can access the position 10 directly, that is called the direct access. Okay. And the non-volatile memory ROM RAM is again divided into the DRAM and the SRAM. Dynamic RAM means the DRAM, and SRAM means the static RAM. Or volatile memories lose information if power off. I have already told you non-volatile memory retain value even if power is off. I mean after switch off. I mean after the switch off of your laptop computer, uh, the all information will be stored or available in your ROM. So generic name is the read-only memory. Misleading because some ROM can be read and modified. So types of ROM are PROM, programmable ROM, erasable programmable ROM is EPROM, and then electrical erasable ROM is in portable digital devices, right? And there is a firmware program instruction used frequently. Program stored in a ROM. Boot times code BIOS, you know the term BIOS, that is the basic input output system known as the BIOS. Sometimes we use the term BIOS. Okay. Then the graphics card, disk controller is there, and then the storage versus memory. Okay. So memory, that is the RAM, keep information for a shorter period of time, usually volatile, but it is very faster and it is more expensive. You know that we ask any people when he buy a mobile, we ask how many RAMs you have in your mobile, whether you have 4 GB RAM or 6 GB RAM. If you have more RAM, your speed is more high. You can process any type of information very fast. So for that you have to pay more money. That's why it is more expensive. Then the storage device, I have already told you that this is the hard disk. So the information is retained longer, non-volatile, but it is slower and it is cheaper. This is ROM, RAM, EEPROM, auxiliary devices, and now we'll talk about the auxiliary devices: magnetic tape, hard disk, floppy disks, and then we'll talk about the CD-ROM, ROM, and DVD. Okay. So categories of storage, that is the magnetic storage, we use the floppy disks, but nowadays we are not using the floppy disks. I mean, when I was a student, then we use the floppy disks. We have seen the floppy disks. Now you will not see the floppy disks, but you can see this in the picture. Then the zip disk is there. This zip disk concept is available, but for processing these disks, you need the drive, floppy drive, zip drive. Otherwise, how can you process it? Then the hard drive. Okay. Then the optical CD-ROM, DVD, and then the solid state storage devices use the USB key, a very common form of solid state storage. Then the magnetic storage exploit duality of magnetism and electricity. Okay. So here basically the concept of magnetism and the electricity, the people from electronics, people from physics, they know the concept of magnetism and electricity. Using that property, these type of storage device are used by through which, using that properties, the information are stored and similarly it is retrieved. So convert electrical signals into magnetic charges, captures magnetic charges on a storage medium. Larger regenerates electric current from storage magnetic charge. Polarity of magnetic charge represents bit values 0 and 1. So because 0 and 1 is nothing, it is a binary code, right? So which is required for the computer system. So you see this is your the magnetic drives. Okay. Then the magnetic discs, flat circular platter with metallic coating that is rotate beneath read write heads. So I don't know whether you have seen when we are the student and we are very primary school level student, then we have seen this recorder, gramophone recorder. In any type of occasion, this recorder are playing for any type of music, right? So it's like a CD DVD, which is playing on a uh, particular box, and there is a pointer which is put on this disc, and it read the information from that DVD, gramophone recorder, and plays the song. It's like that. Okay. So random access device read write head can be removed to any location and on the platter. Hard disks and floppy disks. The concept of these magnetic disks. The concept of magnetic disks is applied in the hard disks and the floppy disks. Cost performance leader for general purposes. Online secondary storage. Okay. Then the magnetic drive storage capacities, floppy disks 1 MB, very small capacity. Okay, 1 MB, then the 2 MB, or maximum was the 4 MB. Okay. Then the hard disk drive, its capacity is 80 to 500 GB, but you will be very astonished that when we are student, we are using the hard disk, then the maximum was 1 GB, 2 GB. Okay. Then came 4 GB, then came 8 GB. I was very happy when I buy a computer, and that memory was hard disk capacity was 4 GB. That was the highest. And now we cannot think that in our mobile we are not happy with the uh, 128 GB memory. Okay, if it is internal, then we add another external memory into 256 or something like this. And we are talking about now the 1 TB, 2 TB of memory in our computer or laptop. So you see, this is the floppy disk. The square shape things is the basically floppy disk, and under this floppy disk, you will see some these circular plates. Okay, so this the black one is basically the magnetic disc. Okay, so here the magnetic tape. Here the information are stored. That is coated by these two circular and put into the plastic coated the square shape plastic coating. Okay, and above that there is a metallic square rectangular shape, which will be inserted into which can be pushed down and push up to connect with this magnetic tape to the systems. Okay, so a floppy disk is a portable, inexpensive storage medium that contains a thin, circular, flexible plastic disc with a magnetic coating enclosed in the square-shaped plastic shell. Structure we have already told that before using this we should format it, but you can also format. If you format it, then all the information will be lost. Initially, floppy disks were 8 inches wide. They then shrank to 5.25 inches, and today the most widely used floppy disks are 3.5 inches wide and can typically store 1.44 megabyte of data. Floppy disk is a magnetic disk, which means that it uses the magnetic patterns to store data. Data in floppy disk can be read from and written to. Okay, formatting means you will clear all the information in the floppy disk, then you will get free space, then you can store all the information again. Okay, so formatting is the process of preparing a disk for reading and writing. A track is narrow recording band that from a full circle on the surface of the disk. Okay. Now this is basically your hard disk. I think you have all of you have seen. It is seen inside a cabinet, or it is plugged in the motherboard. Okay, so it is another form of auxiliary storage is a hard disk. A hard disk consists of one or more rigid metal plates coated with a metal oxide materials that allows data to be magnetically recorded on the surface of the plates. The hard disk plates spin at a high rate of speed, typically 54002 revolution per minutes, which is in terms of RPM. Okay. Storage capacity is, I will not say 10 GB to 120 GB. Now we can say that it is up to 2 TB and 4 TB. Okay, so these are is seen that the total area is divided into some sectors. Okay, better to say it is basically a circular track. Okay, then the circular track is divided into some parts, which is basically the sector, and then there is a cluster. So in every sectors and every tracks the information are stored. Okay, then the optical mass storage devices store bit values as variation, okay, in light reflection, higher areal density of longer data life than the magnetic storage, standardized and relatively inexpensive, uses read-only storage with low performance required, application with a high capacity requirements where the portability in the standardized format is needed. Okay, optical discs, CDs, compact discs, 700 MB storage. CD-ROM means read-only. CD-R recorded to a CD. CD-RW which can rewritable. So after storing the information into the CD, you cannot remove it. It is basically one time use. Okay, but there are some CDs which is known as CD-RW where you can erase the information from the CD and you can write it again. That is the rewritable CD. Okay, then the DVD, that is the digital video disc, or sometimes it is known as digital versatile disc. So this is your basically the compact disc. Compact disc, also called the optical disc, is a flat round portable storage medium that is usually 4.75 inch in a diameter. CD-ROM is read-only memory, is a compact disc that use the same laser technology. You know that using the laser technology, the data are write into the track. Similarly, using the laser technology, the data from the CD are read. Okay, the capacity of CD-ROM is 650 MB. And then come to the DVD. DVD is more than CD. Okay, the capacity is high because here you can store up to 4 GB of information. DVD again divided into DVD ROM, and there is also DVD RW, readable DVDs. There are more higher compact than the CD, and the special laser is needed to read them. Then the Blu-ray technology, the Blu-ray disc is used. In the Blu-ray disc, the Blu-ray technology is used. Name derived from the Blu-ray blue-violet laser used to read and write data. Okay, so here blue-violet laser used to read and write data. Developed by Blu-ray Disc Association with more than 180 members. That is Dell, Sony, LG, and so on, so on. This is your Blu-ray technology. You see, so data capacity, because of Blu-ray uses a blue laser 405 nanometer instead of red laser 650 nanometer. This allows the data track to on the disc to be very compact. This allows more than twice as small bits on the DVDs. Then you see the format, that is the Blu-ray, I mean technology. Format is BD-ROM, pre-recorded content, BDR, recordable, PC data storage, BDRW, rewritable, and BDRE. It is also rewritable. One for PC data storage and another for HDTV TV recording. And this is all about your summary. So you know that whatever we have told today, that is basically the input output device and the memory. Okay. So if you have any question or anything, you can